Today, the 9th, being a Thursday, inside the month of July. That's all we welcome you to another edition of Tea Time, live on Women's Voice Online TV, on the Facebook page, the TikTok account, and also the YouTube page. Inside the program today, we will look at NACSA in 2026 theme, we say inclusive social action for a resilient for SECA, this thing, and Uda will lead the discussion. We get between the project officer, information education and communication. We are Umar Sama, going to our studio. We will can't tell you why AXA choose this thing and waiting at the national being the thing. So we will be the program plan to you today. Even my friend
and Mina Patricia Kabia.
So stay with me for the next 1 hour. You said there I should take part in the program by sending me a message on my comment section on Facebook and also on TikTok, and make sure say you are our personality. Everybody in view for being respected and the opinion for being respected as well. The views of the guests are not in any way reflect Women's Voice Online TV. So Uma, good morning and welcome to TikTok.
Good morning and thank you very much for bringing me here.
So family will have from you, why NACSA choose this thing?
Well, NACSA don't come on a long way, and since we were done, there was need for like institutions then, with the building institutions then for ensure say we put Salon back to the position where it was, and fortunately NACSA now be one of the institutions that the government of Sierra Leone decided for established. But in recent time, in 2020, NACSA changed in status. Before 2020, we be go back to Parliament after every 5 years for see how they renew mandate. But the NACSA Act of 2020 give NACSA the power to operate as a permanent government agency. We mean say we know they go after 5 years, we go to Parliament again for renew mandate. And everybody will listen, we must go to area about NACSA. Villages across this country, you must see one signboard where they say rehabilitated or constructed by NACSA. People that where they live in the suburb areas must go to receive 1 or 2 loans from NACSA. We self-holding in an elite society with free time. You must go there about NACSA because NACSA is everywhere. So we don't implement a lot of projects across the country. So this 2026, the commissioner winner Chief Ambassador Nesbimba Domhaina decide for tailor activities towards the big 5 game changes. So well, we consistently work for achieve government agenda. We actually get for align with your activities, with functions, with mandate in line with His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio, the thing. And say all our action points, all our focal points, every activity, every project we implement now at the commission geared towards achieving the big 5 game changes. So it's the team come out in a way that we not get for left nobody behind now in achieving the big 5 game changer. Everybody for be inclusive. Persons living with disability, woman then, man then, you know, all categories. The one that will not go school, you will go school, you will the upline, you will go free town, you will the places who say most cannot they reach. Everybody for being inclusive in NACSA activities because we want the aspirations with the president set reach the last mile effectively, especially for this 2026 and going beyond.
So what is our major priorities?
We dey in community development and infrastructure, we dey in social protection, we dey in the infrastructural development. Like currently we get 4 different projects that we dey implement. We get the productive social safety net and youth employment project. We in a $42 million World Bank and government of Sierra Leone funded project. We get in different implementation parameters. We get 5 different components and subcomponents. They deal with economic inclusion, they deal with cash transfer, they deal with youth-led household, they deal with other sectors then, where other ministries, departments and agencies they help you for implement. For instance, we get the Freetown City Council, we are implementing partners. We get other district councils that across who they implement the green public works. You see people they sweep the street, they see them small tractors and they collect dirt in the street, the PSSNY
So now that's how
possible.
they fund.
Yes, the funding come up from the PSS and I do FCC get the own dirty must go activities where they go on. So we own support to FCC just add to waiting dirty must go they do. But when you go to the provinces, the Green Public Works be able to reach more than 3,500 young people. We give every provincial cities when are born Bo, Kenema, Poloko, Makini, and New Sembel, be able to give them tractors for see how they ensure say the city clean. The drainages are clean and make you realize last rainy season we get lesser report of flooding across the board. But we got another project also within that PSS NYE we work with the Ministry of the National Youth Commission. Recently, we during the presidential town hall meeting, you see the president do a symbolic payment to 1,500 young people who are big entrepreneurs for help them for do business. Yeah, and we also get another component of that simple. This is just one project where they give more than $250 each to 3,500 beneficiaries across Karine, Falaba, Kenema, Western Area District, and Pujong. $250. We transform that into the loans as per the currency, the date of payment. Now 5,758 loans. The essence that for see how we support them for do business. But not just give them the money. They don't go through 1 year, 6 months rigorous training on mentorship, business development, coaching, and everything. And we not just get for left and so. We get business development officers and coaches. We get for monitor the movement, coach them throughout until that business sustain.
So how does he do for get the beneficiaries there?
Well, we targeting system very simple. First of all, I make it for volunteers I want in some implementation. Because if I dey give cash transfer of 1,047 loans, they go meet person like you for instance. I say Kara Timabla like last snap you for give 1,047. Some people could consider this an insult. But now you get for volunteers say, yes, me, I want this money, I deserve it. I think I entitled to one. But that is not the last step. That's just the first step. When you don't express interest, next they go through a process now for determining. No, we get with community structures them across. So we get people who call community identification committees. No, next they work in isolation. We work with people that are across community. We work with state institutions. So in every community they cover, we'll go for instance, Bo. There's a district council responsible for the management and the functions of Bo. So we'll go to the district council, we explain why I give them the responsibility for scouts. And when all those interested in it come, then we take another step. The second step is an interview for really determine your poverty status. You are not just expressing it, but you also for be poor. When we don't determine your poverty status, we go to call community identification exercise. All man they can have district council hall, or if in a small community, all man they can have the town hall. We call Umaru Samai, the community confirm Umaru Samai pool. No, Umaru Samai no pool. In Peking they free to the same way bag rest for Umaru Samai no pool. You get 2 Peking in England. You are out of the race. So get 3 tier of we targeting system. You volunteer, we do district or community level identification. Then the final stage now is application of ODK tools. The ODK is a software within our phone. Will they interview you on the basis of how you respond to those questions, go determine poverty level or not. But we know they do it online. We know they do it as absential. We go to your host, we ask you basic life living standard conditions, questions them. For instance, the type of house that you did. If I sit on a veranda, I see fine, nice, modernized door. I ask you what's the door instructor. You tell me say I don't get the much, but I did it. You know like for me. If I didn't know your host, I tell you which kind roofing when I get. He says is instead of zinc, he say that thatch roof that we use. I didn't have the place. You know like for me. So we are we do an in-person and in the field. They make all over who they do implementation. We get people who call enumerators them who they send across the district for ensure say they do a very good work. And even the phone who they give them, they don't have control over whether they score below the poverty line or whether they score above the poverty line. It's systemized. How you input your answers, and so the phone they grade the person they respond to those
so
questions.
All of this, what would I intend for achieve this year?
we want to reduce poverty as much as possible through achieving the big five game changes. The motive, with functions, we mandate, we don't align everything to achieving the big five changer as spelled out by His Excellency the President.
So you look at the SDGs now, just turn here this week, you will look at poverty level now and you see by 2030, Salon further move away from poverty. So you think say we will achieve that as a country?
We don't make a lot of progress that we must recognize. We don't put a lot of efforts, we don't put a lot of finances, we don't put a lot of technicalities into reducing poverty. And I will not tell you strategically that at the end of 2030, we poverty line go down they at zero basis. But we at least go down move away from that level we say everybody we say they be considered Salon or Sierra Leoneans like abject poverty. Because from 10 years ago, you watch back to now, we don't make a lot of progress across the board. Start in terms of standard of living, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of access to basic amenities. We don't make progress. I know they talk so we have done it all and everything is okay, but progress has been made so far. And when we succeed in sustaining then progress in the way they make, then we will get on a very good footing for see that we end poverty totally as against 2030.
Because over the years, una don dey manage millions them from donors and out of the government funded projects, but yet still people dey complain say we get vulnerable communities and we still dey struggle for access funding. I mean, how you go respond to such critique?
You know, vulnerability sometimes can be very difficult for protect because God forbid sitting here now, so I sit down now, you look at me, you think everything is okay with me, right? I dey work out fine, I dey talk fine, maybe I dey sleep na fine inside. Maybe in next 2 months, God forbid, something will happen where it will make me very vulnerable, even more than those with are vulnerable now. You understand? So sometimes as you put strategies together, you dey make strategic progress. Not natural disaster can happen. We dey make a section or part of a country become vulnerable. Parts where probably will not be say, yeah, we don't solve the problem. Because of natural disaster, they become vulnerable. However, then they delete the fact that as of that time, those people living in that community no be get access to government supports. They were, but because of circumstances beyond everybody in country, including government, then they are now vulnerable. Let's see, for instance, the Motorman Mosque Line. These are a very beautiful community where you go. Places, yeah, fine houses, very beautiful. But later, people living around that community became very vulnerable as a result of natural disaster. So it's across the board. So individually, you can become vulnerable in the morning. But somebody will they work out upright, somebody will okay, talk normal, go get accident before you know it. Now, person with disability, you don't vulnerable at that moment. Communities where if you say they strive very hard, community if you say they don't advance, community if you say they don't sustain certain basic amenities, something can happen overnight. They also become vulnerable. So, but what is very much certain here and very clear is that the money, the finances would they receive, where government to receive, where institution like NACSA they receive, they go back to the people. Yeah, we don't make a lot of progress. We don't get a lot of more than 105,000 Sierra Leone, extremely poor Sierra Leone, and the whole of the 15 districts go household level. At least they receive 1,047 leos per household as a support during disaster, as a support for established businesses, as a support for resurrected businesses. And we don't get testimonies. International organizations, they don't come on, they don't do evaluation of programs there, and they are satisfied with it. And the more reason why you see the World Bank keep on funding the activities what they do, because they know will they achieve the very reasons why in fact that they be approve the project development objective they approve. The moment we deviate a bit from that, they see that they hold on to funding, or they get some constraints. But when they do the independent monitoring, they do the independent evaluation, they know the resources they go to the people who they really deserve them. And even we at NACSA, all commissioners we meet or work under very deliberate for ensure say if na 1,000 una dey give beneficiary, every beneficiary for receive that 1,000.
That means say the money not only they go into the administration, but the beneficiary itself they
All our
achieve
projects are beneficiary center.
Okay.
It has to be beneficiary centric. 70-80% of our resources for go to the beneficiaries. So it's not just administration, because if you dey give $250 per person to more than 8,000 people in 5 districts, you therefore take a lot of time for administration for use that. That is just one part. If you dey give more than $300 to 6,000 youth in 4 cities, it's a lot of money. You don't go expect administration for use that alone. You understand? If you dey give 1,047 youths to more than 11,606 households, that is a lot of money where they go directly to the beneficiaries. And this is just one project. That's everybody green the GPC, where the German government the support with the support for infrastructures, then feeder roads, then we do across this country. Yeah, then that goes directly to the beneficiaries. And what we do feeder roads is not knacks and then they go take people that are outside workforce, they come up from the communities. So if this feeder road they connect 15 communities, they expect workforce will come up from those communities. It's a condition. So you are not only ensuring that people get access to farm, or farmers they get access to the market. You also create job opportunities for the young people in our communities. Where in return they support families, and by extension they support communities. So NACSA implementation is people centric. With the focus on the people, and the people then they ensure say the people then get what they deserve as per the program, how the program describe them. And as I said earlier, all we implementation they in line to achieving government aspirations. The big 5 game changer as it is now.
Okay, so how una can go about for select these communities?
We get different implementation patterns based on the type of project we would implement. We get the community driven demand project. We exclusively in our government the supporter. The funding they come up exclusively from the government of Sierra Leone. And they see community infrastructures, markets then would they construct, would they rehabilitate schools, would they anything with community related. So now the community they come. Now the community they see the need. So for instance, this will community A they in need of school. Or community A in school, in primary school, 1 or 2 classrooms that be done for. The need for rehabilitator, facilities are not there. Share the not for sit down. They make expressions to NACSA. NACSA go do need assessment. If there's need for that school for be rehabilitated, they go through the process and I tell you the school will be rehabilitated. We don't build a lot of markets na Freetown municipality alone. We don't build a lot of markets na Kenema. We don't build a lot of markets inside Makini. We don't construct and rehabilitate a lot of community infrastructures just for the CDDP. The CDDP is exclusively 100% government of Sierra Leone funded project.
Because the reason why I ask a question, the people they allege say una the involve politics in selection of communities that we need support. That was why I asked you the question how una go about this selection.
And involve politics not to my notice.
Okay.
As far as me communication, me also sit down to give me the lens for use. I have not seen the involvement of politics. Maybe you say, okay, we'll go for build market at this area because the SLP people did it. No, we go for build market, maybe market at this area because APC but we no. No. We reconstructed the market now, I don't care. Where you go, the people who they sell at that market, now APC and SLP. There is no condition say this market, we APC now they no. So development, if we taken away from politics, it's fine. Because if I build community infrastructure, for instance, school, the sons and daughters of every members of any other political party they attend. It's not just for one party. You understand? We will build the facilities na Kenema, na Bandama, where they enter. It's a very big, highly good facility na Kenema by Bandama. It's used by everybody. You understand? When you go Moyamba, before you enter na Moyamba, there is a very big house, recreational center. Everybody is going there, regardless of nobody need go for sure. Political party ID card say mina SFPP la enter, no, or mina APC la enter, no. So when the commission they do implementation, it's basically exclusively in line with the Big Five game changer, a national development framework put together by this country. Say as of from here to 2028 or 2030, these are the things we want to achieve. So the commission say, okay, all of us therefore put resources, effort together for ensure say these aspirations who will spell out in the medium-term national development plan will achieve them. It's not political. You understand? Yeah.
Okay, so you say una the work in line with the Big Five changes. Now me question at that. What if there is a change of government and then the next government come with your priorities?
NACSA is a government institution.
Okay.
So where you function, you have to function in line with what government wants for the people. Then you are not operating a parallel government, no. So now we are focusing on achieving the aspirations spelled out in the Big Five game changer. We meet the medium-term national development plan, the new one, the end 2030. So if we have another medium-term national development plan, then the commission get for structure itself for align to that development. You understand? When His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio came in 2018, we gave strict free quality education, right? One of the development parameters, free quality education. Institutions, not just NACSA, government institutions put resources together for ensure say we achieve the free quality education. Now we don't get the second generation of the medium-term national development plan. We give back to the Big Five game changers. Institutions, government institutions, non-government organizations, private entities, private sector, everybody will work towards achieving the aspirations of the Big Five game changer as articulated in the medium-term national development plan. So if we have a change of leadership, or no, it's a national development document. I know a lot of time to just one leadership. Yes, we can forget leadership where they spell out what I want to achieve, because every president, every political leader with the kind of power get aspirations where they use as a campaign messages to the people, and that those things has been well articulated in a formal national document. So this is a national involvement. It's not a political involvement. It's not a leadership. It's national document. And I believe and I know certainly that all other institutions in this country, they work towards achieving the B5 game changer.
Okay.
Including women's voices on that.
Okay. So people don't they complain say Sierra Leoneans then when they respond to emergencies sometimes can late for attend to people who don't face crisis and all of that. So as an institution, how adequate are they for response to emergencies?
So we get layers of response where other institutions ki also responsible to that. For we, most of who we do under the psycho-social support, and we disaster struck, we emergency happen, the not to NACSA responsibility for couch ambulance. You know, there are institutions responsible for that. But if need be for provide psychosocial support, we did it. If need be for give cash transfer, we did it. And in all instances, as of the time we meet the NACSA, and by records, by reports, all other commissioners and people that did the head programs and NACSA, they respond adequately. For instance, in recent times, we get the COVID-19 hit. You know, government, for me, that was a time where government hit very, very, very hard on emergency. In less than 2 weeks, 4 billion loans, all loans was provided. Flow we hit persons with disability and other vulnerable groups with cash transfers and other things that we they go need. That was just in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. For risk 4 billion news, you know, it's really quite work, especially during emergency when you know they expect say this to happen. You understand? So and every government aspiration now for protect in citizens. No government is say they can expose citizens to hazard, or they can make sure citizens suffer. So every government across the world, they put resources then together, they put all other efforts together for ensure say they respond to the needs of the citizen, which of course as institution we have been doing it effectively over the years and will continue to do it effectively. Our institution is well equipped, capacity they beyond measures, every aspect of it they, and that is why we have high donor presence. Yeah, for let get institutions with more than 4 or 5 different donors supporting different projects. They tell you see that institution responsible, that institution responsive, that institution get the capacity for deliver, especially on matters that relates to social protection, on matters that relates to infrastructure, community infrastructure, on matters that relate to providing cash support to people who actually need them. We get the record, we have proven it beyond measures. Not only today, but since the institution was created, from the days of the late president, President Dr. Tijan Kaba, to the days of Anes Baikuma, and now we have the current president, His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio. NACSADO consistently they deliver throughout the system. Then they.
Okay.
So continue for stay with me, the program at Tea Time, live from Women's Voice Online TV. And today we will look at NACSA team, waiting make them choose this team for 2026. But now we can go for a short commercial break. We'll come back, we'll continue the program. Stay with me for the next 30 minutes.
The world don't go digital. Now that's make we commercial bank. The world don't go digital. Now that's make we commercial bank ready for match up.
With Rokel Commercial Bank's SimCopper app, it's fast, safe, and reliable.
Tired of standing in the queue? Do all your banking transactions with Rokel SimCopper without leaving your seat. Fast, safe, and easy.
You can download the app from App Store or Play Store.
Star 919# with or without internet.
You can send e-copper to any mobile number.
Send and receive money instantly.
QR codes, you can take your business digital.
Across banks and mobile money accounts in Sierra Leone. Instant payment across Africa.
So, what are you waiting for? Download the SimCopper app now.
Rokel SimCopper, banking on the go.
The world don't go digital. Now that's make we commercial bank ready for match up with the world. This now the e-banking department. We get products and services them when you use online. Listen to what my colleague they get to say.
The e-banking department responsible for all the electronic products in the bank. One, the ATM machines where you can get cash easily from. The points of sales when are some small terminal where you can do your transaction, where they do online transactions as well, where you can sit on any side now this world and do transactions. The commercial bank e-banking now the solution to all digital transactions in the country.
For work with Boku money, not at this time. So go inside any local commercial bank today and get you Copper card, your Visa Classic, and proprietary card for making transactions easy.
Gonna shop, you can use the POS and do your transaction easy.
Welcome back from that short commercial break day for the late sponsors of the commercial bank. In case you are opening accounts, so now we're going to any branch across the country for opening a bank account with the commercial bank. They get a foreign account in pounds, in dollars, in euros. So rush now and be part of the commercial bank. So today we look at NACSA in 2026 team we say inclusive social action for a resilient we don't talk a lot of things why the thing we also don't give the beneficiaries. So now we go for a look at wetin NACSA they do for ensure say especially women then because yeah we focus more on women than any other person. So wetin woman then they benefit directly for ensure say all of them there and people with disability, young people as well, and the rural community for ensure say we are not left there at all, especially women in all of these package and projects.
Currently the PSS NYE implementation they cater for more than 80% of women. When you go on the sub-component economic inclusion. We don't give more than $250 to each beneficiaries, more than 8,000 beneficiaries in 5 districts. 90% now women there.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you go to the one implemented by NACOM, the National Youth Commission, the grant will give to beneficiaries in McKinney, 70% now women there. This is then the data they come out. But within these structures, we get at least 8 to 10% persons with disability for each budget. So in terms of enrolling women into our programs as a deliberate effort, it's part of our program development objective, because even we as an institution, the presence of women is really very high. I think we are one of the government agencies. Then we go to say we get more than 30% of women staff. Now we commission across the district offices and headquarters, and in other programs would implement like the Sierra Leone Community Demand driven program where the Islamic Development Bank they support. You get the MEGs and the SEGs. These are all women, 100% exclusively women. So NACSA's implementation really the center around women, and that's one reason why when the current commissioner came, he realized how the program, the institutions, they focus on women's empowerment. The institution they ensure say women them come to the hotline. They do a whole celebration ceremony just for women, just for celebrate the female staff, and it extend that also to celebrating with female beneficiaries across the board. So when you look at videos, news articles, videos coming from the provinces, you see the commissioner dancing with women. This not to mistake, it not just happen. This is because even at national level, we see the push for the involvement of women in all implementation. And then it will tell you directly, say, it will just confirm the assertion have been made, say, with programs they in line with the National Development Plan. Yeah, we are not leaving women behind. We are not leaving persons with disability behind. We not leave no other sectors of society behind. Then we could call them inclusive social action. Yeah, everybody therefore they on board for ensure say that objective hold on set. We they speak directly to the big 5 game changer. We all for put hand together for ensure say work. Either persons with disability, either a teacher, a lawyer, a businesswoman, farmer market they do, or a village day, a paramount chief, a section chief, a mommy queen, youth leader, everybody so far for being involved in the implementation, either directly as implementer or directly as beneficiary, or as a support to beneficiary, or as a support to implementers.
Okay, so what can be the role of the local communities
Major,
in terms of helping you guys for the implementation process?
they are mainly responsible for mobilization and identification. For instance, if we go na Karine or go Mongo na Falaba, we need just go Mongo. In as much as we get office na Falaba, we need just go Mongo directly and begin for doing implementation. No, we do work directly with NACSA district coordinator, where they take we to the leadership of Falaba district, where the leadership of Falaba district they get a strategic meeting for understand what to campaign in district, and by then their responsibility now for mobilize the beneficiary category who don't spell out to them. If we say a woman they want, they get the responsibility now for mobilize woman then. If we say now persons of disability want, they go mobilize persons with disability as per the type of woman they would look for. Yeah, you go be persons with disability, but in as much as you're vulnerable, but at least you're good to go. But you go be double vulnerable, you go face double vulnerable status. You know, persons with disability, then you pull back. You understand? So go prefer for go in for the poor one, even though we look for persons with disability. But among these two people, they are two persons with disability. But this one at PWD, but again motoka. You understand? This one at PWD, but still not shop. This one at PWD, a picking a day out, so they take care of them. But this person at PWD, even forget how we chair, no problem. So the program parameters they tell you say, would you go to that person we need to afford nothing first? If we go to the higher rank now, then maybe we will consider that person wey sit down at shop because that person is disability. But the resources, the permit we force for go to that PWP person, we need to afford with chair, we need to afford food for it.
Okay, so now look at in all of this, what are some of the key success stories then over the years?
A lot. We don't get a lot of success stories. Let's start with cash transfer alone. I tell you now here from data, we don't from this year January alone, from January to this July, we don't reach more than 15,000 extremely poor household. These are just for the social safety net cash transfer. I just money we take here when I go use them. Yeah. Then when you go beyond that day, in income alone, they reach 6,000 households with grants. Under the economic inclusion, we are reaching out to 8,000 households with business grants. Grants means say we give them that money, we no they expect in return. No. Now we not get it. All what we they do now for see how we coach you for do business and for sustain that business. Yeah, that's just on cash transfer. Yeah. So when you go jump to other projects, for the CDDP project, for instance, we don't construct a lot of community infrastructures across all districts in this country. At least we don't construct 2 community infrastructure in each district in Salon. And this is the CDDP who will say this is not government in own government speaking. We nobody will not get no donor funding agency. Now government nobody provide the money, say we not go do community infrastructure. At least in every district in this country, we don't construct or rehabilitate 2 community infrastructures. Yeah, under the SLCDD, we don't do solar power supply na Moyamba. We don't do them na Makeni, Bombali districts. We don't do na other 5 different districts there across. We have a very big solar plant where they supply the market. We give them refrigerators for ensure say the fish the way any market the way they pull no spoil. You understand? So overall, we don't able to reach more than 1.5 to 2 million Sierra Leoneans with NAXA facilities, not just limited to cash transfer. Yeah, of recent, I think under the economic inclusion, we able to employ more than 200 business development officers and coaches. We deploy them at the provinces. So the success stories for NAXA are very expanded. That if I say I get for count and I actually follow talk about them, they take me a whole day because they count piles of books where they speak to our success stories. Yeah, but we don't able reach, and actually they able reach. Let not left this out. Under the sustainable cash flow of the PSS NYE project, we give farmers the money, they work part, they will repay them. We able plant more than 1.5 hectares of land, cassava and granite. They don't harvest. We also don't support them for ensure say they do another planting. This is just one project coming on board. Under the SSCDD, we don't make more than 1 point something of palm oil. When a woman there, not these are not men. A woman exclusively now woman they do the work. Now woman they do the now they in charge of leadership. Now they in charge of management. Now they in charge of everything, and they have access to the money. So if we are working for a day, we pay you $3 per day. Not to ask again for go pay you back. Now woman then are the timekeeper. The woman then are the chairpersons of those groups. Woman then are the whip, like in terms of discipline. So they take all the leadership. So we get with success story just this 1 year. Now they explain so, not over the just from January to July. These are things we have done, and we just still set a lot of parameters for do more and beyond what we don't do.
In all of the success stories, there are challenges. What are they?
Funding, because the commission is donor funding, and we all know what's in the happen right now at the donor market. It's donor fatigue day, and we get competition for fund day, and but that's just funding.
Okay, so earlier on you mentioned say una dey support youth them as well. We youth employment, of course, now one of the big 5 changers also. And so how una dey make sure say una support the youth here with livelihood wey go be very sustainable rather than just for the meantime and then everything just done?
Okay, so say the government is support or NACSA dey support young people. We also get for starter from OSI, who is in charge from the level of implementation direct to who is receiving. Me was there so me a young man. You understand? So some years back it's quite difficult for let's see a very young man they can sit down for articulate issues of a bigger institution like NACSA. Years back for let somebody can sit down talk to you about a very big institution go there at the rank of senior director or director, you understand? But because of young people, they at the forefront now in terms of ensuring development, in terms of propelling development, then make us easy similar today. When you go, for instance, at NACOM, the project officers they are young people. This not project managers at PIU level no more. I not go to the beneficiaries level than it. You go FCC, the person they did in a young person. You go now all the district councils that would work with, the ESD where they did, these are young people. Yeah, and these are people where the government don't give job at that level. So if you look at me now, sitting here, you know for sure that just because I have the opportunity and the privilege for work in NACSA and for work in line with the aspirations we could commission those sets, I have more than 10, 20 people who they survive through me. So they rope the long. You understand? So let's take it down to beneficiary level. You know, if they give you $300 free, they say do business. Every sober person really will invest in time and in resources into that $300. Get the capacity for catapult for change that $300 thousands of dollars. We get people who start businesses with less than $100, less than $50, but that business don't sustain themselves to the extent they don't take care of themselves, take care of their picking them, to the extent they don't educate their picking them. You understand? How I wish me mama get the opportunity for receive $300 from government. So tell no they herself. I should have been a big person. Because as far as I could recall, the mama not be get access to capital for doing business. You understand? I better leave will be the good courts. By then Kiswe corner, ask people from Kenya. You go cut cassava leaf in a swamp, put an on a head, and go sell, and survive for that day. So if my mom be get access to $300, say mama yeah, go do business. My mama for able open one table at the market, put rest bag them for sale by cup, put burger for sale by cup, and thereby revamp the economy of the family. But you don't be get the opportunity by them for me. But in this generation, we don't get opportunities of more than 86,000 young people. They receive $300 grant. You need to pay back. You understand? We don't get more than 8,000 women. They receive $250 grant. You are not paying back. We don't get women where they don't form MEGs and SCGs then, where they do savings culture. They don't support for sustain and revamp their businesses. So the sustainability is not just for like go get job in our office. It's not just for like go get job in the NGOs. But we are giving out resources for entrepreneurs, for do your business, actually employ yourself. Which I don't wish for me and family. But they don't get the opportunity. You understand? We also the fight for we don't succeed for connect farmers to market. The feeder road construction is very important. We don't get in this country some of we didn't come up from villages. We say we coconuts and the poil, we pineapple the poil, we pawpaw the poil because we don't get mutuka from Teka now village. Go to the city. In the forget about the city for Teka na Dowela. Go to the Mayton. Sometimes with the Huawei the tooth we able tooth before they reach to he said it 2-3. But now because of feeder road network, improved feeder road network, small taxi that you see them, they overload for good those goods back to the bigger towns. And farmers that they sell and make profit at the end of the day. So sustainability in terms of providing job for young people, the job is not just focusing for like what you don't so an AXA, they say I can talk on a radio station right now. But we are ensuring that people will employ themselves, which we have succeeded. Yeah, the 200 plus videos that we employ. These are people coming from families So we pay am every month. It's reflective. Families are also coming out from poverty. You understand? If you go to my village now, you call me name, they say Samai they can't today. They make one whole cultural show. It's because I had the opportunity for being employed and I went back home for sure say I don't get small work. This reflects on the community. So this is also happening. This is same for all other young person. We get access to job. Yeah. However, this not mean say all young person as alone get access to job. We still have brothers, we still have sisters who are searching for job, but we don't make progress. We don't make a lot of progress towards bringing young people to the front. A lot of progress. You watch the structures at minister level, at senior directors level, at directors level. You see young people in strategic positions. We not reach it, but we dey go small, small. The fact that they don't begin for recognize say young people like you do am, for me, I believe say na something we for take very seriously.
Okay. And so how una dey ensure say una actualize una projects dem, una see say poverty reduce rather than just for count beneficiaries? How una go able assess say una projects and the work poverty don dey reduce without una no even count beneficiaries?
Okay, so at NACSA level, we get a whole directorate made responsible for monitoring and evaluation. Yeah. At national level, we get a whole agency. We are the National Monitoring and Evaluation Agency, NAMIA. Then NACSA also they go beyond institutional and national level. We get independent monitors. They can tell we areas that will make progress, areas that we need improvement, places where we need to do more investment. In all we interventions, IGR they do an independent monitoring exercise for check, for confirm, for fact check say these people that will claim say would not reach out, they'll actually reach out. Or them people and the business that we don't give them, they go on an independent monitor. We not do not pay. But the NAMIA of which last year, October, we signed MOU with NAMIA, the National Monitoring Evaluation of Agency, and all implementation, what they do, NAMIA did it. We did Kenema for give 847 beneficiaries $250 just for Kenema City. The Director General for NAMIA, we did it. They make a statement, and one of the statements we make like that they get the responsibility for ensure say NACSA or all other institutions for monitor and evaluate the impact of program that they make. So we are not just counting beneficiary head, we also count the impact of that interventions. So if we tell you say we don't pay 15,000 beneficiaries, it's way more than 15,000 because we pay by household. So according to the statistical definition of household, they say at least 6 people will sleep or eat from the same pot. So you multiply 6 by 15,000. That is the impact we are creating. This is not beneficiary head count.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the impact we are creating. They tell you say, if you give one head of household money, you don't get purchasing power for also buy food or do business with the support the family. But beyond the family level, if you give beneficiary 2,000 or $250, when a 5 million volumes, you don't get the purchasing power for like going to market for buy from a retailer. You understand? If we don't be give that beneficiary that money, you need to get the purchasing power for go buy from the market from a retailer. And if you don't buy from that retailer, it is possible that retailer but no you get that kind of purchasing power for go buy from wholesale. So we impact not just limited to beneficiaries. So if Uma Usama is a beneficiary, you don't give me $200 or $300. I want do, for instance, I want do small market and be free and that. I go for buy one bag rice. I go for buy one bag burger. I want buy gari. I want buy pepper. I want buy oil. I want buy honey. I want buy natai. I put an veranda for sale. I don't just get for go take. I get for go buy to people. Where did they sell by retail? And when I buy, that person also don't make sale and it don't make profit. And that person they get the capacity for letting back go buy what they do hoses. You understand? The person by where they sell hoses, it don't make profit and it don't make sales. So the impact they cut across. I don't know if you understand what I mean. There is this thing we call spillover effect. So the impact they cut across. So the more we beneficiary they do business, they get the purchasing power, the more capacity they get for go to that retailer for buy from them, and the more capacity by that retailer they get for go to the wholesaler for buy from them. So we money they rotate back and take it can end the national cover as tax.
Okay.
So we should not just pay attention to the money we they give to beneficiary or count impact by beneficiary head count, but the capacity who they give the agency who they give for ensure say they buy from somebody, that person back go buy from that other person. So the money they flow, and we see success stories coming out throughout.
Okay, so somebody message you from a Facebook page. You say, "Thank you, Mr. Samai." They say, but going forward, what are the Commission's key priorities for strengthening resilience and reducing poverty in Sierra? A question will come out from Fatma and our Facebook page.
With the hope for scale up, our implementation for by project base are pilots. For the PSS NYE, I have said the intervention what they do na pilot phase. Pilot mean we get 100 things for do, but let's just do 5. Let us see how it go day. Yeah, which means we don't see the impact already we don't create. We just seek for more funding, more resources for scale up, for expand. They make in the EI we have only 5 districts now we will reach. But me and you can attest to that even that 5 districts is not exhausted. And out of the 16 districts we still have more other deserving districts for reach out. You understand? For the sustainable cash for work, we reach only 3 districts: Pujong, Tonkolili, and Falaba districts. We empower them for do farming. So we are scaling up. We hope and get more resources for expand. This small thing we don't do, we get this huge impact. One for expand and also. We go to the GPCYE, it's the same thing. We are for scale up. We are for scale up for get more, for sustain more infrastructure, for get more, rehabilitate more feeder rows, for create more access for our farmers, for get more community facilities, or for rehabilitate more community facilities. We want to see how we employ more people. Yeah, because the more we do it, the more we effect succeed more for reduce poverty, the more they succeed for reduce hunger, the more they succeed because if we go rehabilitate health center in a community, you are contributing for all get good health and well-being. You understand? Then if you go rehabilitate schools or you be school for a community, you get teachers the way they empower, then you did contribute to quality education. You also do goal 5 in gender equality. I tell you, say a woman they at the center of implementation. Yeah, we'll get a lot of other things we in place. Or what we want now additional financing for kick them off and for ensure say what we don't plan, what we don't start to happen.
As time don dey beat we, you mention funding as one of the challenge dem wey una dey face. So how the projects then they carry on after the time done? I mean, even if they stop funding, then stop for funding, now how now we see them projects and they then continue?
So in the first place, when we do implementation, that is the first stage where ensure say the beneficiary they can say we get for sustain this. So for the sustainable cash for work, we will do more than 1,500 hectares of farmland, plant cassava, plant granite. We know they support them again, but those activities still they go on. You go surprise for no, the groups are still functional because at the initial stage we don't tell them say this is project and not going to last forever. We support you at this stage, but subsequently now we're not going to put resources together and just see it happen. So how do we do it? So we don't harvest. Where they harvest, they divide the produce into 3. You get one where they give the land owning family. Do I know they give land for the farming? Then you get one where they keep for the next planting. have planting season,
Mm.
they get one portion where they una they share among una self. Either una seller una share the money or una share the goods itself. So the one where they keep for the next planting season, they at the high portion, more than 50%. So that alone they put him in a position where they for the next planting season you don't get problem. Yeah. Then on our savings culture, the EI economic inclusion company will teach them for safe. Even before we give them the $250 benefit, they be don't save. Some group that they tell you say from when we start this meeting to now, we don't save more than 15,000. Somebody say we don't save up to 30,000. So they put in then the culture of sustainability that with or without the project, then it will function and carry out their activities effectively. Because this is funding, this is a project. Project get timelines. You know they expect projects for run throughout, and even the project for run throughout, there are possibilities of change in terms of nomenclature, change in terms of objective, change in terms of coverage area, or change in terms of beneficiary focus. So we, in all the activities, we ensure say the beneficiary understand what is sustainability and take owner, and they get for owner. Areas that we say na community get them. Let me put the work no more go build hospital now. Now the community get for owner. The more reason why we want to do community infrastructure, the workers that they come up from the community. Yeah, the stakeholders that if now district council they work with the chairperson of that district council, then get for dinner at the front. If na city council, the mayor of that city council, then get for dinner at the front. So if NACs are not there, they say no, this is a project, let not die. So they are doing it. Now we Freetown, for instance, the support will be given in terms of for clean Freetown, this, that, dollars. But they are still proceeding with the clean salon, call a clean Freetown agenda. Because they already know say this is paramount and we have to do it. And this is the same for other provincial cities.
Okay, you see, for the first time, me personally, I see Naxa moving to market women. And I stand to be corrected, but to be honest, government out, I don't want this to happen. So waiting to do that initiative. Like this, we wouldn't give any money, we really pay back. So waiting to be the initiative, and why now? Or if they since the formation of Naxa, if you don't they that all the government are not going to do it.
So, and every business woman or businessman or business person want for increase capital. Yeah. And I have said government in, government out, one for see how they support their own people. And unprecedentedly, we see NACTA, they give money to, I think it was 36,000 women. 3,000 household in a market woman where we give 1,047 millions each for support their business and it become under the COVID-19 emergency cash transfer. So the project activates what we call contingency emergency response component. We ensure say we see how they cushion the impact of COVID-19. Yeah. And that was the first time. Every day the other time, but it not be come in the form of cash. Be come in the form of technical supports to market women, capacity building, call them, explain to them how for do business, tell them how for do savings, ask them, teach them how for expand business. That was specifically within the project that we focus on. But this is the first time, as you rightly say, we'll go into cash supports. Now we give them money. You don't tell when you teach person how for do business, but you need to get money for do business.
So in other words, I don't get them at all. The only even where we get the Ebola emergency, we see a lot of homes destroyed, a lot of people lost their life. It not be there at all.
No, we get the Ebola response, but it not to for be do business, not to be for the traders. It be the focus on extremely poor Australia. Yeah, extremely poor, not traders, not market women, but give them money for extremely poor. That are the province people are really poor, and by then the scale at which we don't go now not be there so. And by then, we'll not be get people where they can sit on a radio and talk about the cash. And by then, we'll not be get people where go do a very good documentary, write very good article, and publicize. Say this is what we are doing. But it was at a very small, only 2 districts, Bombali and Poloko be the cover. But now, when we get the additional financing of 42 million, where His Excellency Dr. Julius Mandabio launched Nakambia in 2022, then we able to reach out to everybody now all districts, but specifically the money for the traders and be the focus 36,000 just for Freetown, not even the Western Rural District.
Yeah, is this allegation among market women where they say the one day we can go register for this money, then they take money that they have.
And one thing about corruption, very difficult for faith, and because we conscious say they deal with money, I make we now we say we call Anti-Corruption Commission. So when I come, so they deal with money, and money very much sensitive. And we explain to them, they part of every meeting. We explain to them what are the processes and what are the parameters, what are the procedures of implementation. And we give them the mandate, the power. They will give them like a request that if we see where they go wrong, do you want to bring you back to book? Yeah. Then secondly, we also give them the responsibility of grievance redress mechanism. Because the money we they give, people don't get some grievances. In as much as because I not get, my neighbor get, I go feel or two deserve, so they go lodge complaint. You understand? And also they do the normal mandate when are fighting corruption. That not they stop people then for attempts for corrupt. Maybe I don't receive message from Man Rogers. It's a Lago Ferry Junction. But what go me ID card, but I go 500. Next I give me 5 million. You understand? So nobody is exempted. But what we don't do as prevention mechanism, the ACC Public Education Unit and the grievance redress mechanism unit don't ensure say we don't publicize that NAXA money we dey give free. You know for give money for getter, then you know for give money we don't get her. We also don't create a toll-free line when 8515. That now any time we call them, okay for let you talk, we beneficiary go lodge complaint, ask questions. We also don't say let beneficiary reach out to any of our offices in the district and every headquarter. Maybe you want to ask more questions about how what do they do. And me personally, my phone number is public. Any side you did Naxa, my phone number they for call. I have received so many calls.
A toll-free line for any complaint.
No, 98115 we ACC they manage. Okay. A toll-free line.
Okay, so in all of this, I really are getting info. So what will be your final message to say I really especially the one they really watch you right now, for a short say I will build a resilient nation.
My message not to just Sierra Leoneans. Please permit me for go beyond Sierra Leoneans. My message let begin with all Sierra Leoneans. For instance, we will not beneficiaries. We gotta help we forget this money. Yeah. Do ya make the best use of the money there. That money they go be a start of your success. It be a start of what you get the energy for start for get money. Do ya if you are fortunate for be a beneficiary, for receive $300, $250, for receive 1,000, approximately 3,000 in total. It's a lot of money for start a business. Do ya make proper use of that business thing. No go put on cultural dance. No go make party for you pick, birthday party for you picking. No put up a graduation. Yeah, do business and ensure say you expand the business. We don't teach you now for do business. Una not get it. Una feel say una deserve. We they come by God in power. Now we all put hands together. Now we pray for let Papa government get money, and we do not partners for get money for see how we expand all these activities there for reach una. Now we just keep the strength and the patience we they demonstrate over the years. But more specifically to we donors them. Yeah, for reach the last mile in this country is resource based. The government of Sierra Leone, they support the commission very seriously, and then donors also over the years they support the commission very seriously. But because we don't pilot programs, activities, we don't see greater impacts. The time for funding is now. Now we support the commission for reach other areas them with this very good news. We say more than 8,000, 6,000 households would they push them away from poverty.
Okay, thank you very much. Your name now, Umar Samai, we are the project officer and also information, education and communication officer from NAXA. Today we look at NAXA in 2026 we say inclusive social action for a resilient we don't see a lot of things we need for know as citizens then we also make some clarification. We also don't talk about the toll-free line where you complain about them one day we go to market, they ask the market to money for give them money before they give them the grants. They don't make all the clarification on you. So I for say plenty thank you to Omar for waiting your time and can't so we like the student today. So that's what time will end for today. We'll bring the program coming in the family.
And Mina Patricia Cabria.